Thank you for your interest and time. Following is a compilation of videos showing the unique features and advantages of Structcrete precast concrete solutions for diversified building applications. Structcrete solutions provide speed, durability, cost, and other features and benefits for your projects.
Upon arrival of the
Structcrete
molds, covers, and equipment, a site was selected for the production facility. A concrete slab poured for future tennis courts served as the casting bed. Casting began as soon as the production facility was in place. W12, W16, and F24 molds were used to cast structural wall and floor panels for six-plex townhouse structures. Ready-mix trucks deliver concrete to the molds as a crew of 7 men begins casting. Bolts have been positioned in the adjacent panel for quick connection once the panel is in place. The Wafflecrete system is designed with bolted connections. Preformed bolt holes cast in the perimeter of the panel assure proper alignment and quick connection during erection. Panels are bolted together, wall panel to wall panel to roof panel, and wall panel to footing or floor slab. Before the crane is released, the panel is checked for proper alignment and the bolts are tightened.
Structcrete
is a modular panel system that is simple to cast and erect. The equipment is straightforward and easy to work with. Panel production and handling utilize techniques common to the construction industry. The system does not require highly skilled labor. Local labor can be trained in a matter of weeks to form work crews capable of a high rate of efficiency and productivity.
Structcrete
International provides technical supervision and training to
Structcrete
producer builders during the initial projects. Design consultation is also available upon request. The kitchen, living, dining room, laundry, half bath, and garage occupy the ground floor.
A 3-story, 24-unit apartment complex built in just 6 days? Impossible, you say? Well, it is possible. In fact, it was done in Majuro, Marshall Islands in February of 1993, but it was finished on February 27th, 2 days early. The individual panels, including walls, floors, and roofs, are fitted together to make the structure. It is perfect for
Structcrete
because it makes buildings that are resistant to hurricanes, insects, and corrosion. It can withstand 155 mile-per-hour winds. Once the exterior is completed, it takes about 4 weeks to make the building ready for occupancy and another month to complete all interior work. Prospective building owners stop by the job site on a daily basis. Before erection was completed, they had a backlog of over a dozen
Structcrete
projects. Says this project was a complex one to begin with, but it prepared him well for the many projects he has constructed since.
1995, Indonesian general contractor PT Nusa Cipta Edukapura received a shipment of
Structcrete
molds, equipment, and supplies. Construction began immediately on 4 5-story apartment blocks for Perumnas, an Indonesian government housing. The company was under contract to complete the buildings by late November. Earlier in the year, the president of Nusa Cipta Edukapura, Mr. Tigor Simanjuntak, his brother and associate, Mr. J.H. Simanjuntak, and nationally renowned architect, Mr. Adi Merced, traveled to the Philippines to tour projects under construction. They were impressed by the quality and speed of the system and believed it would be ideal for construction of government housing projects planned for Indonesia.
Structcrete
International technical trainer Randy Joplin was on the site when the equipment arrived. He spent a total of 6 weeks supervising equipment unloading, establishing the on-site panel production facility, and training crews in panel casting and erection techniques. In less than a week, all
Structcrete
molds were in place and 200 panels had been cast. At the end of the second week, erection of the first 5-story building was well underway. Perumnas Dedication Day. The apartments are complete. Large tents have been set up on the grounds for the dedication ceremony. Project perspectives and construction storyboards describe the project's progress for visitors. Indonesian television is on hand to record the dedication.
Tetapi juga merupakan sumber kasih sayang tatkala kita membangun keluarga. Namun tidak semua keluarga dapat memiliki rumah yang layak huni, terutama mereka pendatang baru yang datang di kota-kota besar. Memiliki tingkat ekonomi rendah dapat menjadi penghuni rumah yang layak dengan cara sistem sewa dan sistem pemilikan. Lahan yang sempit dapat dijulangkan ke atas sehingga tercipta jutaan perumahan walaupun kecil. Alternatif rumah susun bagi kota-kota besar mau tidak mau akan merebak. Namun memang tidak mudah mengubah kebiasaan masyarakat untuk tinggal di rumah susun yang cukup terbatas luasnya. Dan ini perlu asal 240.000 lebih unit rumah sederhana, sangat sederhana, dan rumah susun sederhana di 188 kabupaten.
Indonesian President Suharto arrives.
Rumah susun Bumi Cengkareng Indah, Jakarta.
Government dignitaries arriving for the dedication and tour of the project include President Suharto, Vice President Tri, the Ministers of Public Housing and Public Works, and the governors from all 27 provinces. President Suharto addresses the assembly and dedicates the project.
Pada kesempatan ini juga diresmikan rumah susun sewa di daerah DKI Jakarta. Para penduduk lama untuk tinggal di tempat yang layak huni itu. Presiden juga mengharapkan peran serta seluruh lapisan masyarakat, khususnya mereka yang tinggal di daerah kumuh, agar rela melaksanakan perbaikan kampung dan pembangunan rumah susun. Mereka sebaiknya rela melepaskan hak atas tanahnya untuk pembangunan rumah susun guna menciptakan rumah yang layak huni yang nantinya akan menjadi surga mereka.
The project dedication is completed and President Suharto departs.
Structcrete
International conducted testing to demonstrate that hybrid shear keys provide complete shear transfer between precast and poured-in-place concrete and create complete composite action, causing the beam to act as a single structural unit. 2 hybrid beams were constructed from precast elements and poured-in-place concrete. One designed as a simple span beam and the other as a negative moment beam, which occurs at the beam-to-column connection. The test setup was designed so that each beam provided resistance for applying loads to the other. Beams were confined in a steel frame parallel to each other with a hydraulic jack positioned between them. Equal pressure was applied at increasing loads, and beam displacement was monitored electronically by computer. Dr. Mohsen Saleh, P.E., structural engineer of the University of Nebraska Structural Engineering Laboratory, set up and monitored the test. Both beams retain their structural integrity well beyond the ultimate design load. This test clearly demonstrates the performance of the shear keys and the total composite action between the precast elements and poured-in-place concrete. The beams act as true monolithic composite structural units.
Seismic testing and other strength tests were conducted by the Indonesian government to verify the structural integrity of the
Structcrete
system in severe earthquakes. Testing took place at the Indonesian Research Institute for Human Settlements in Bandung. Panel reinforcing and bolted panel connections were monitored electronically for stress and elongation. Displacement data was fed to computers and compiled into graphs describing the amount of movement at each point under corresponding loads. A 2-story
Structcrete
structure was erected inside the testing laboratory. Sandbags were loaded on top of the structure to simulate the vertical loads of the 5-story housing structures. A large steel ram attached to a concrete reaction wall was used to apply loads of increasing magnitude. The
Structcrete
system surpassed all design loads, proving itself to be well suited for construction in areas of high seismic activity. In mid-August,
Excellent hybrid system applications include parking structures, mid and high-rise structures, including apartments and condominiums, hotels and offices, and other multi-level open structures. A single durable mold made of aluminum and plastic is used to cast U-shaped elements that become integral structural parts of poured-in-place columns and beams. The same mold is used to cast both column and beam elements. Insulated molds and covers allow a daily casting cycle. The plastic and aluminum mold body produces a smooth, clean surface with precise dimensions that requires no additional patching or plastering after it's erected. Insulated molds and covers assure a daily casting cycle.
Structcrete
Bolted corner design makes demolding quick and easy. The aluminum side mold is opened slightly, allowing the precast hybrid elements to be lifted easily from the mold. Hybrid column halves are joined by temporary steel angle clamps or through bolts at the top and bottom. They are lifted into position and set over vertical column reinforcing steel, which extends up past each floor level. The columns are braced until the beam grid and floor panels are in place and concrete is poured and cured. The hybrid system greatly reduces the bracing and shoring typical of conventional column and beam construction. Hybrid beam elements are set in a mastic sealant on top of the erected columns. Column and beam elements are hollow and weigh much less than solid precast. Normal tower cranes will easily lift and place these lightweight elements.
Structcrete.
Floor panels are supported by the beam grid and then bolted to each other and through the exterior beam.
Structcrete.
Floors are structural spans that use half the concrete and steel required by conventional solid cast floors. When all hybrid column and beam elements and floor panels are in place, the secondary reinforcing for the poured-in-place concrete is installed. The column and beam grid for each floor level is poured at one time, tying all precast elements, poured-in-place concrete, and
Structcrete.
floor panels together. Specially designed hybrid shear keys in the precast elements lock into the poured-in-place concrete, assuring that the two castings become one monolithic structural unit. With
Structcrete.
this hybrid system, you get
Structcrete.
hybrid molds, which cast both column and beam elements in the same piece of equipment, are made of durable, long-lasting plastic and aluminum. Cure precast hybrid elements overnight without electric or steam heat.
Structcrete.
The hybrid building system allows smaller, less expensive foundations, utilizes precisely dimensioned precast elements that require no additional plastering, greatly reduces bracing and shoring, reduces labor requirements, speeds the construction process, greatly reduces construction financing, and creates a cleaner, safer, and more open construction site.
In the Philippines, using conventional techniques, multi-story buildings are tedious and labor-intensive structures to build. Construction often takes months or years and requires a maze of wood scaffolding to support the formwork.
Structcrete.
Construction of Cebu City, Philippines, knows a faster and more cost-effective way. Their first
Structcrete.
project, a 5-story office building, was erected in just 21 working days. Earned his engineering degree from the University of San Carlos in Cebu, Philippines. His general contracting company builds a wide range of structures all over the Philippines. His is an innovative company on the lookout for new technology to improve quality, increase productivity, and reduce construction costs. In August of '93, he purchased
Structcrete.
molds and equipment for the casting of panels for his 5-story office building. This initial structure is not a simple project. The office building is located in downtown Cebu City on a narrow lot with existing structures on all 3 sides. All precast erection took place from a busy, narrow street in front of the building where major power lines are located. In addition to the site conditions, the structure itself is complex in design. In order to create an open, covered parking area under the front corner of the building, precast columns and beams were integrated with the structural
Structcrete.
wall and floor panels. The top floors house a 3-level apartment and support the building's water storage tank. Panel casting began in October of '93 and
Structcrete.
was on hand to supervise plant setup and panel casting. He returned to oversee the erection. In February of '94, panels and a 35-ton crane were moved into position. In just 21 working days, the precast concrete structure was erected. The contrast between Lim's building and nearby structures utilizing traditional column and beam construction was tremendous. These structures, though under construction for months, were quickly surpassed by the
Structcrete.
building.
Thank you for your consideration. Structcrete Solutions. Fast, scalable, durable, no waste or maintenance, and low cost. Structcrete Solutions and your projects perfect together. We welcome builders, developers, and others to contact us to discuss how Structcrete solutions can benefit you and for the local Structcrete office nearest to you. Thank you.